regarding to the IEBC that Kenya wants. Allow me to take it back to you for now.
Thank you, Kagina. There's quite a lot.
Sense. Brother, I get lost.
Okay, why?
For one reason, that when we are looking at hiring in public service, we are not looking at a situation or the standards that the law looks at. You know, the standard of innocent until proven guilty, it's only applicable when somebody has been charged or somebody is undergoing through a trial, and for a purpose of a criminal conviction or a criminal acquittal. But when you look at the standard being set by the Constitution, and Article 88 is that one must satisfy the principles enshrined under Chapter 6 of Leadership and Integrity. When you look at the Leadership and Integrity chapter, it does not require you to evaluate that individual on a scale of reasonable doubts. It's barely on the basis of the Caesar's wife that a person must be beyond reproach. And that's why I agree with Fidel that some of those individuals whose names and who have presented their candidature before this panel, they have a questionable character. For example, if you look at someone who was a former clerk to the Nairobi County Council, when he was holding the position of the clerk, Jacob Ngwele, he spent more little time in his office than he spent in court at the DCI offices. And that's the person you are saying.
I have to stop you there. Yes. I have to stop you there. I will come back and talk about the issue to do with leadership and integrity deeper in just how some of these names fall short as far as that is concerned. Right now, I want to cross over to Yala Member of Parliament, that is David Sankoka. Thank you so much for making time and joining us for this conversation tonight, sir. Let me start with this one. We've seen the selection panel conduct interviews. 11 candidates presented their case before that selection panel. We expect that at the end of it all, we are going to have a chair for the IEBC position. But questions are being raised in regards to how this process was done and just the names that we've been able to see. Were these 11 the best that we could afford from the 35 that applied?
Thank you very much, David, there, and thank you very much to the viewers for viewers of K24 for giving us an opportunity to delve in this matter of IEBC selection panel and possible IEBC chairperson. And let me start by saying I'm nowadays in the geopolitical space, and I can tell you that Kenya is ahead of so in the West. Let us notice of interviews all over the world is that there will be a long list. Everybody will apply, but there is no way we can hear from 1,000 or 2,000 people that have applied. You can only be able to have a short list, and that is why there is a short list. So the process was above board, and for me, I'm quite satisfied. I know all those who have been interviewed. They are quite qualified. I don't see any of them who did not qualify or meet the minimum qualification criteria that have been set for the IEBC chairman. So I think I'm quite confident in what is happening. So it is above board. All of them, we wish the chairman, because the selection panel is there to represent the public. So the confidence of the public is displayed by those who actually are part of the selection panel. So for me, I think we have confidence in them, and any of them, as per maybe some of them having ongoing cases, surely all Kenyans, everybody, most of them have some accusation here and there. But an accusation is an accusation until you are proven guilty
Okay,
of
so
the particular offense.
Let me just ask you this one.
Every Kenyan, including my good friend, the lawyer Njiru, I'm sure there are people who have been accusing him left and right, who don't like his character, but until he is proven guilty, that is when we can say that he's not fit.
Okay. And Ndegwa Njiru says he doesn't have any pending cases in court here. I want to ask you this. Most of the people that are on that particular list are, one of the requirements that you've been said is a minimum requirement according to the Constitution is just meeting the Chapter 6 of the Constitution in regards to leadership and integrity. Where do we draw the line when it comes to the integrity aspect? Should we say just because you've been mentioned in an issue and have not been found guilty or investigations are still ongoing, then you are allowed to be able to vie for position? But let alone if you're found guilty on that particular front, what exactly do we do? All right, Honorable Sankok, my question was the leadership and integrity is one of the requirements that, when it comes to the person that is going to chair this particular commission. Yet some of these names that have been presented to the public, they seem to fall short on that particular front. Do we assume that and move on and have these individuals in place despite knowing very well that they are quite reasonable questions that have been raised in regards to their integrity?
Now, in terms of integrity, what is integrity? Is that maybe probably you have been prosecuted and you have been jailed for a number of years, or you opted to pay a fine, or what is the issue you are calling integrity? Integrity cannot just be a baseless measure that somebody accused you of something that in have been found guilty of a certain offense, jailed for a number of years, or opted to pay a fine. But simply because somebody does not believe in you, that does not qualify that you don't have integrity.
Do you agree with what Sankok is saying?
No, I think the honorable members completely miscomprehended what the law on integrity is. There should be a difference between qualification and what would bar you under criminal conduct that may either amount to a criminal act or not. But if those allegations impeach your standing and your integrity before what we would call right-thinking members, then you would be deemed to fall below the threshold of leadership, the threshold of integrity, that is required under the Constitution. And so that when it comes to appointive positions, the issue of you have not been charged and found guilty does not apply. If it is elective, then that would apply because the choice is passed on to the electorate, so that then they look at those allegations and they decide whether they are comfortable with them or not. But when it is an elective position, then the requirement should be that those allegations that have been made against you, you must be given an opportunity to explain those allegations, and then the panel would be in a position to evaluate and say, on the basis of this allegation, should we allow this person? And there are so many questions that then come into play. For example, if the allegations are the subject of an investigation, and the investigation is either ongoing or there is a case that is either ongoing. What happens if after they have allowed you to be appointed into that, then it becomes it leads to either conviction or a recommendation for a prosecution, because then you are already in office. So the process of removal again creates all this doubt. And so I think that what we need to focus on is really that those that are supposed to be appointed to those positions should not be having any questions about their integrity.
Okay.
And if those questions about their integrity are there, that there should be such sufficient explanation to it that any reasonable person looking at those allegations would feel like these allegations have actually just been leveled for purposes of stopping this person.
In 30 seconds, do these issues that have been raised by the public and the cases that have been leveled against some of the individuals that are actually were part of the, the
they are entitled to give, then you have to look at those.
Okay.
The impeachment process will come after the decision, because then if they pick someone with questionable integrity questions, then they'll have to explain why they did that.
Okay.
And that is where now you begin going on that slope of losing confidence in the process that you have undertaken.
Okay, I want to go back to Sankok before I come to the two of you.
Yeah, but he had said something that I wanted to react to before you give him more audience to mislead our viewers. When I listened to him, I wondered where he says he understands. Article 73, and you look at 73, and I'm very quickly, clause 1. It says, is a public, it says, authority assigned to a state officer is a public trust to be exercised in a manner that is consistent with the purpose and objects of this constitution, demonstrates respect for the people, brings honor to the nation and dignity to the office, promotes public confidence. So the question of public confidence is not something that can just be swept under the carpet by the submissions made by Mr. Sankok. It's a key cardinal point that people must look at. When Anne Amadi appears before the panel and a question of the gold scam is put to her, her answer is, I am no longer a partner in that firm. That is an answer that she gives. She does not substantiate. She merely evades by alleging that she is no longer a partner in that firm. But at the time the scam was happening, were you not a partner? So we are being set for failure by this commission.
Okay, but
because they know basically what will happen and what will ensue is that we shall go to court and challenge some of those processes that are taking place. And it will have the consequence of delaying the elections. So this is a skewed process by individuals who want to avoid an election and the embarrassment of 2027 defeat.
It is a skewed process, but already the process has started.
Yes.
So what happens?
On the wrong footing. On the wrong footing.
What happens in the long run?
At the fullness of time, as and when they release the names of these successful candidates, who will then become either the chairperson or the chairperson, is that litigation will ensue. And the litigation will have the consequence of delaying further the reconstitution of the IBC, which subsequently will affect the entire election cycle.
Okay, so Ndegwa, is there a way of stopping all that right now? In terms
No. We can't stop it now. Reason being, the individuals who are carrying out these processes, they have decided that they want to set this democracy for failure. We have simply decided that.
So there's no coming back in terms of
we are waiting for those results because we cannot intervene at this particular time.
But
we shall intervene.
They have not yet made a decision. If they are going to make a decision, what decision should they make?
They will make a decision. You see, garbage in, garbage out.
Okay.
if you have these individuals, the likes of the persons we have quoted, appearing before the panel, individuals with questionable character, if you are selecting among ships, or you're selecting to get a ship out of hyenas.
Before I take a break, let me give you an opportunity to talk on this issue to do with Chapter 6. How important is this particular chapter, when it comes to the selection of the person going to in terms of
I don't know whether my brother got what Amadi said.
Okay.
I think from the news I heard.
I'll stop you there because I'm due for a break in just a few. When I come back, of course, I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond to that. And of course, my colleague David Kaginos is on the other side also with a panel to try and make sense of what is happening in the country as far as the reconstitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is concerned. We take a break here on the People Dialogue. We'll be back in a few.
mweri wa April. Yes, thini wa star 317 hash twina besha kiamami kuma gwa Kameme TV. Star 317 hash wahinyo gwori ukona box ithano, box ya mbere, box ya keri, box ya gatatu, box ya kana nginya box ya gatano. Weka uguo wekira amount gatatu shilingi 70 nginya shilingi 1000 weka start by kumenya box yaku heki. Star 317 hash shagura box yaku ya munyaka ushoke ho wekira amount gatatu shilingi 70 nginya 1000 vuka na cash kwa box na best na we shilingi yaku wefaga na urikana muthaka one muitukine BCLB.
Asante kwa kunipigia simu. Simu yako nitaipokea kwa muda usiokuwa mrefu. Na nisipoishika, usijali. Nitakupigia mimi mwenyewe.
Kupata nitakupigia kama sikiza tune yako, piga star 811 star 617 hash.
Yes, vuka na cash kwa box na best now mitabone ya Kameme TV muthagine wa ready umuthi ni muthenya wa Wednesday mweri 23 thiku nini tuigire mweri mweru mweri wa kana mweri wa April. Yes, thini wa star 317 hash twina besha kiamami kuma gwa Kameme TV. Star 317 hash wahinyo gwori ukona box ithano, box ya mbere, box ya keri, box ya gatatu, box ya kana nginya box ya gatano. Weka uguo wekira amount gatatu shilingi 70 nginya shilingi 1000 weka start by